Welcome to the AI Research Roundup. I'm Alex. Today we're looking at a paper from the Hugging Face trending list, published on August 11th, 2025, so just about 3 days ago. This paper introduces a framework called Mol-R1 that dramatically improves how AI generates molecules, achieving an exact match score of 0.234, a huge leap over previous models. The paper is titled Mol-R1 Towards Explicit Long-CoT Reasoning in Molecule Discovery, and as we'll see, the implications from model training are quite significant. The work tackles how to get LLMs, specifically those using explicit long chain of thought reasoning, to perform well in highly specialized domains like chemistry. Okay, so this first figure really sets the stage for the problem the authors are solving. At the top, we see the task, a text description of a molecule and the correct target structure beside it. The goal is for the model to generate a SMILES representation, which is a text-based way of writing out a molecule's chemical structure. Looking at the results, the first two models, QWQ32b and DeepSeek R1, produce very long reasoning steps and ultimately fail to create the right molecule. But then you see the result from Mol-R1. It's much more concise, and it correctly generates the target. Alright, so how does Mol-R1 actually achieve this? This diagram lays out the full framework, which has two main innovations. The authors first highlight why a simple approach like rejection sampling, seen in panel A, is inefficient. The model just keeps trying until it stumbles on the right molecule. So instead, they developed a process called prior regulation via in-context distillation, or PRID, shown in panel B. This uses a single expert-annotated example to guide the model in generating high-quality reasoning traces, solving the initial data problem. Building on that, this table details the overall performance across several key metrics. The most important one here is exact match, or EM, which is a very strict measure of whether the model generated the exact correct molecule. Looking at the final results, Mol-R1, after 2 training iterations, achieves an exact match score of 0.234, which absolutely crushes the baseline models. You can also see how the scores improve with each iteration, proving the training strategy is working effectively. Now, these plots really drive home why that iterative approach, MoIA, is so crucial. The top graph shows what happens with the standard policy optimization technique. You can see the performance measured by exact match rises quickly, but then becomes very unstable, jumping all over the place and failing to improve further. In stark contrast, the bottom graph shows the MoIA framework in action. With each iteration, the model's performance steadily and reliably increases, reaching a much higher and more stable peak. This visual evidence confirms that iterative refinement is key. So to wrap things up, Mol-R1 really demonstrates that by first creating a high-quality reasoning dataset and then applying a stable iterative training process, we can successfully adapt LLMs for complex scientific domains. This approach dramatically improves both accuracy and explainability. That's it for this episode of the AI Research Roundup. I'm Alex. Thanks for listening.